Hey, everybody, what is going on? We are back with Origin Stories, revisiting my good friend, Ms. California Blend.
Hello, everyone.
How are you doing today?
I am doing awesome tonight.
Uh, I got a little list of stuff, so that's exciting.
Oh,
So
okay,
if you see me staring at my phone, I'm looking
mhm.
at notes. I'm not just like staring at my phone.
Yeah. Okay, that's
It's
cool.
it's not very professional, but
Yeah, it works. Whatever works.
exactly. Now, it's been 3 years, or just a little over 3 years, since you were on. What's been going on in that 3 years?
Yeah, so I mean, life is completely different. When I was on the
Mhm.
podcast, we were in the midst of quarantine. So, like, everything about my business, since I predominantly sell in person, had stopped completely. And at that
Mhm.
time, the sales on my website were like none, basically. And so I saw my business grow in a different way during the quarantine because I had orders, like so many orders. Like every time I would post something on Instagram, it would sell immediately. And I was
Yep.
constantly shipping out paintings in the midst of COVID. And then it was new coming back to comic conventions after everything had cleared up. It was an entirely different business, and so it felt like I was starting from ground zero all over again,
Mhm.
with selling at comic conventions. And like I wasn't doing like YouTube movie reactions at that time, and now I do. And so I have
Mhm.
the paintings, I have my comic books. It's like everything has expanded.
So, are you doing the comic stuff? Are you still doing paintings on YouTube?
No, I'm no longer doing paintings on YouTube,
Mhm.
although I have started using the Shorts platform on
Yeah,
YouTube, and I'm starting to see some success there.
yeah. Shorts for my disc golf channel, especially, has boomed the subscribers.
Yep.
And it doesn't do much else for me, but lots of subscribers.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. So,
Um, now, speaking of cons, which cons have you gone to, and which ones have you found to be the best for the artists?
right. So I've been to MegaCon, Florida SuperCon, PalmCon, uh, MICE, which is the Massachusetts Independent Comic Expo. I've been to C2E2 in Chicago. I've been to HeroesCon in North Carolina. And I feel like it really depends on the area, the state, the
Hmm.
demographic, and the season. Because I've been to some comic conventions down in Florida, like Florida SuperCon. It's really a summer con, and you're going to see more teens and more anime lovers at that convention. So I
Hmm.
personally decided to stop going, and they also switched business owners. Whoever owns Florida SuperCon, I think it's Reed Pop now, and so they run Florida SuperCon a little bit differently, and based off of the demographic, my prices are going to have to be different based off of who can purchase what. And it's like kids, they're often like, do you have prints of Spider-Man? You have prints of Hulk? And it's like, I don't sell prints, I sell paintings. And I found that my new favorite con right now is definitely the one in Chicago, C2E2. That place is
Hmm.
just amazing. I love Chicago, I love the people, I love the con. So yeah.
See, I've never been to that one. That one to me it's on the list. New York is also on the list, and
Yes.
so is Baltimore. That's the three that I haven't been to yet that I really want to go to.
Yeah.
Have you gone to Baltimore yet? No.
No, I haven't gone to Baltimore Comic Con.
Mhm. I mean, everybody tells me it's very much like Heroes. It's very
Okay.
much centered around comics, not a celebrity con, not a media con.
Mhm.
So I definitely want to go to that. Um, okay, last time I believe I could be wrong because I'm wrong a lot. Um, do were you in college last time,
Yes.
or just finishing college?
Yeah, that was in 2021. So
Yeah.
I should have been like in my junior/senior year of college, but
Mm-hmm.
it's on at the time. So yeah, yeah, I was in college.
Because I was thinking you were either finishing up college. Because I remember we were talking. He's like, you had some lots of papers to finish and stuff. I was like, great
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. So I started. going to college in 2019 for a bachelor's degree in film and TV production. And
Mm-hmm.
then the spring of that next term, COVID hit. So it was school online for a year. And then we came back the fall of 2021 and I graduated in the spring 2022. So yeah.
Now, HeroesCon. What did you think
Mhm.
of Heroes?
I
Oh,
thought
you know what?
Heroes.
Before we do, let me ask you this question: what did you think day one when you
Mhm.
were bombarded with the entire Florida and Georgia crew?
Yeah, so I thought for me that was just an amazing experience because I've had dialogue with all of them
Hmm.
online through YouTube through all that time, and it's been years. It's like 3 years, and I've never met any of them in person except for Sean,
Hmm.
and that was like it. And so it was like so surreal to see everybody in flesh and in person. That was so cool. And I was like, oh, that's so and so, that's so and so. But like, I mainly know everybody based off of their Instagram handles. So if
Yep.
I saw Al, I'm like Dusty Brick Brown.
Yeah.
So it's just really, it was really cool. Yeah, day one was awesome. Mhm.
Yeah. I didn't actually know I was going until gosh, it was probably the Friday before or Saturday before or something like that. And I
Wow.
felt bad. Sean is in the comments.
Mhm.
I lied to him
Oh.
and I told him I wasn't going because I literally found out the day before.
Mhm.
So everybody else I didn't lie to because I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and make it a surprise,
Mhm.
and I think it worked out pretty
Yeah.
good. uh, how's mom doing?
She is doing really nicely. Actually, this entire year, she's been getting her STEM degree, her
Hmm.
master's degree in STEM. And so, because at her school, she won a $50,000 grant. And so they sent her to go back to school to get her master's. And she'll be actually graduating in July. So we're going to Indiana at the end of July.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
As when I met her, I was like, oh look, it's your sister.
Yeah. Uh,
I mean, I always find it absolutely awesome when parents are there for their kids and they're supporting them. It's my mom. Like anytime I was in hospitals or I had sports activities or something, always there. So when I was like, that is so cool.
Yeah,
It-
for sure.
it-
Yeah, she's been to every single con that I've ever sold at, and she always like helps me. She's like the brains of the operation. So
there you go. There you
yeah.
go. You got to have someone there that just it's got your back all the time. I
Mhm.
love to hear that. Let me take my glasses off so I can read. Um, okay, yeah, all right. Now let's go back to actual Heroes Con because I interrupted you there
Yeah.
accidentally. I apologize.
Oh,
So,
that's
what did you
okay.
think of Heroes?
I thought HeroesCon, I thought it was a very interesting con. Like when it's my first time at a comic convention, I'm always very observant to see what are people purchasing, even from other booths and stuff. What do
Mm-hmm.
they dress up as to kind of collect all the data as much as possible. And
Mm-hmm.
I knew going into HeroesCon that it was a con strictly for comic book lovers, people who understand the art and the format of comic books. And so I knew that going in, and after reflecting and having time to think about Heroes Con, I feel that next year if I attend, I feel that I want to sell more sketch covers and possibly CGC slabs. I know over the pandemic, CGC slabs was like my thing. That was something I did
Yes.
like all the time,
Yes.
but like now I don't even make any submissions. But I think the sketch covers and slabs would be more appreciated at a con like Heroes Con. So just
Mm-hmm.
making those light adjustments um, based off of the demographic at each con. Mhm.
Yeah, that's one thing that you have to know is you got to know your audience,
Mhm.
and I think it's great that you're actually kind of adjusting from show to show because so many people are like, this is what I got, like it or leave it,
Yeah.
and I think there's a lot of failure that way too. Hey,
Mhm. For sure.
that's it. Hello.
Hi.
We have this question. Would you like to paint, and what are your most popular requests? If I can
Yeah.
speak.
So thankfully, my favorite character to paint is Spider-Man or any type of spider person, and that's
Mhm.
always my most requested. And actually, I have a sneak peek. This is a commission piece I just finished. It was actually from a woman at HeroesCon. She
Mhm.
asked me to paint a picture of Spider-Man holding her dog, and so this is
Oh, that's awesome.
this is,
Oh,
and
I
so I've
love
had
it.
a lot of fun creating that. So anytime I get to create a picture of Spider-Man, I love that. Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Yeah.
That is adorable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
How did you decide to start your own comic?
Yeah, so I've always loved superheroes, and I was actually against creating my own comic book because
Mhm.
I don't feel that I'm a sequential artist. Like being an artist and then a sequential artist are two different things because you have to capture that motion of the characters from panel to panel, and that can be,
Mhm.
different. But like anything, this idea came about during quarantine, and I really felt that I wanted to tell my own story because I'm a writer and I love telling stories anyway through a plethora of platforms or mediums, and everything just started coming together. Before I do anything, I do like loads of research. So I was seeing, could I even do it? What's the printing company that I would go with? What would I make it about? And all these different things. Like, what's the how would I package this? And so I did a lot of research about how comics were created. And I even tried to start doing Luminous Sage. I was originally going to do it traditionally with like pen and paper. And then I only inked the cover traditionally. And I was like, no, this is not for me. I'm doing everything digitally. So I bought a graphic tablet and I do everything digitally except for the pencils. And yeah, I've always had a passion for marine biology, and bioluminescence just seemed like a really good route to go. And
Mhm.
there's a lot of stuff that's dealing with the ocean that's undiscovered, and I'm like, this is a perfect place to create a story or have a story set in.
All right. Well, let's discuss the actual books.
Yeah,
There's issue one.
yeah, yeah.
Now, did you intend when you started for it to be multi-issue, or did a one and done?
Yes. So I've always intended for this to be a series. Like my brain works faster than my hands. So going into this, I knew I had issues like already written out.
Hmm.
And it was just a matter of getting that drawn out. And so yeah, I have a lot of issues of Luminous Sage planned.
Yeah, I've got a lot of issues, but it's not going to be written down, Annie.
Yeah.
And there's issue two.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And issue. Oh no! What is this?
Yeah.
Uh, Yeah, it was really difficult. I'm not going to lie to save this. Very
Mhm.
difficult.
Oh, yeah.
The grand opening. Talk amongst yourselves. Sean says he really enjoyed issue three. And Sean, thank you for showing that issue on Instagram. I totally missed it.
Yeah.
I did not even realize three was out, and I picked up two.
Mhm. So yeah,
And one magically appeared at my house.
yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Eh, eh. Um, how can people get this, by the way?
Well, actually, right now, issue number 3 is sold out, but
So,
you can still go to my website at www.californiablendsarts.com, where you can still pick
mhm.
up number 1. You can pick up issue number 2, but not issue number 3 right now.
Oh no. I'm sorry, Sean or Chandra. And if I mess up your name, I truly apologize. It's not on purpose. I am bad with names. Issue three is currently unavailable. Will there be a second print?
Yes, there will be a second printing of issue number 3. Like, I'm trying to get everything squared away. Uh, with my printer. My printer, they just moved to a new facility, and so they got a new printer, and it was like a lot
Mm-hmm.
of delays and stuff. So hopefully, I'll have issue number 3 available at Tampa Bay in August. So I would probably say in a month or so should
Mm-hmm.
be available.
Now, I will say this: your books are very high quality.
Mhm.
Is that on purpose?
Yes, that is very much on purpose.
Hmm.
Um, I felt I have a
Absolutely.
whole comic book collection, and so I'm always feeling for the paper quality. Is it hard
Hmm.
stuff? Is it super soft? And with a lot of comic books, they're like paper soft. You could just easily rip them. And I
Yep.
noticed that Image Comics, at least for the Spawn comics, they're like a hard cover that you can't rip. And so I
Hmm.
really want to go with the quality of that for the exterior, and then on the interior, like this glossy paper. So yeah, that was very intentional.
Yeah, I've had books from independent people, self-publishing. I'm just like, man, these things are going to fall apart.
Yeah.
This right here is so high quality. I guess I mean, I'm big Marvel, DC, Image, and a few other stuff, and I'm like, this is the best quality. And I'm not just saying it because you're here, but I
Yeah.
mean, these are extremely high quality.
Thank you.
So,
That means a lot.
yeah, you were talking about CGC. Do they grade them?
Yes, they do. You mean like my personal comic book?
Yeah, yours.
Yes, so they do grade independent comic books.
Hmm.
I haven't done it personally, but I know of someone who has their own comic book series that got it graded by CGC. So yes, that is possible. I would like to do that at some point.
Oh, we got to get the yellow label autographed ones.
Yeah.
What's it like to send in a piece of art,
Mhm.
your personal sketch cover, and it
Yeah.
comes back uh, done by you with
Yeah.
California blend on it? How does that feel?
Yeah, that feels really cool. I remember the very first time I've ever submitted to CGC, I was so nervous because I wanted a good grade. I didn't know how
Hmm.
to get a good grade. I just know the book had to be in good shape. And
Hmm.
so I find that it was kind of tricky because I'm coloring on it, fingerprints are getting on it, different
Hmm.
stains. And so I had to be careful about my environment and just really hope for the best. And sometimes there was my last shipment to CGC, I think it took about 6 months for my books to return to me.
Hmm.
So I was on edge. I just need 9.8s. And so throughout my entire time of submitting to CGC, I have gotten all 9.8s except for two. So
Hmm.
I have a good track record of getting
I
9.8.
mean, that was during the COVID era when
Mhm.
everybody and their brother's brother was sending in stuff.
Yeah.
It was the same way with baseball cards. The time
Mhm.
coming back, some baseball cards were taking over a year and a half to get back. It was insane. I mean,
Yeah.
by then a rookie was no longer any good, and maybe in the minors or even out of baseball by the time he got back.
Mhm. Yeah, that's something I also struggled with as well because I would create something with the intention to sell it, but then I won't receive it until months later. So
Hmm.
now the thing that I was drawing is like no longer relevant or popular, so it doesn't
Yep.
even matter. So I was like, ah, CGC.
I mean, unless you want to pay that a whole bunch extra. How long does it
Mhm.
take to draw your comic? Like approximately 22 pages. He's asking.
Yeah, so for me, it's kind of a tricky question because when I throughout the 3 years that I've created Luminous Sage, I've always been in an awkward space where I've had to go to school or I was working
Hmm.
2 jobs. So I had to, and doing YouTube as well. So I had to balance everything. And so I wasn't able to give Luminous Sage its proper time only. So it would take me about a year to create the issue in total. And I do everything from the penciling, the coloring, the lettering, the artwork, and everything in between. So it takes quite a while because it's not normally a one man job, but just
Hmm.
doing it with stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes the credits easier.
Yeah. Right. That is for sure.
Um,
Mhm.
do do you have a inspiration like for the story? Did it come from anywhere, or is it just all from you?
It is just all from me. I think I had different points that I wanted to hit on.
Hmm.
I knew that I wanted the main character to be a black female, and I know I wanted to have a Puerto Rican family involved as well. And so,
Hmm.
just taking from different things that I've learned from watching documentaries about the ocean or different parts of the world has really helped me to form a story.
Okay. Are you a documentary person?
Yes, yes, big documentary person.
I am obsessed with them.
Yeah.
I almost watch nothing but them anymore.
Mhm.
whether it be from horror, like murderers. The
Mhm.
murderers are my favorite ones. I don't know why. I'm not going to murder anybody, but it's just that it's just the stories behind them, and it's really really awesome.
Mhm.
Not just murder ones, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm obsessed with them now. Just the true reality of things. How was your experience meeting Allison Seeley Smith and getting the storm painting side at Heroes?
Yeah, so the whole experience with Allison actually goes back to C2E2 in April because
Hmm.
that's when I first released or had the storm painting on display at C2E2. And I went to the bathroom. And so my mom, she made a phone call and she was like, hey, there's someone here named Dylan. And he says that he works with Allison Seeley Smith and he wants to take a picture of your storm. And he sends pictures to her and she's going to love this, da 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 da. So I get back to the booth. He's not there, and he said that he would be back. And so I come back around, and so I meet this young man named Dylan, and he works with Allison Seeley Smith, and he takes a picture of me and the storm painting together, and he sends it to Allison, and she sees it and she reposts it. And so I thought that was the end of it. I was like, yeah, this is so cool. Storm sees the storm painting. She reposted. That's awesome. And so it was like a few weeks had went by and I had already applied to HeroesCon and I was just waiting to hear back and receive the application. And so I filled out the application for HeroesCon and then I saw an Instagram post saying that Allison was going to be at HeroesCon. And I was like, I'm going to be at HeroesCon. She's going to be at HeroesCon. I still got the storm painting. I got to get this signed. And so it was day one of the comic convention, and because the VIP they came in at like I think it was 10:30 on day one. And so
Hmm.
before like the doors really opened, my mom and I like we ran over to Allison's booth and like we met her and her voice is heavenly. Like it's unlike anything that I've heard before. And she said that she was from the Barbados and it's just her voice is just so smooth. And so I got my painting signed and she said she loved it. And so it was a really surreal moment to like meet her, but it was like weeks in the making in a
Hmm.
way. So that was very cool.
That is awesome. Are there any celebrities that you would want to meet?
Yeah.
I
You
know
see
that's a
the
random question, but it just made me think about that.
Yeah, there are some celebrities that I want to meet. I know for me, I've been saying recently, like I really want to meet Timothy Chalamet because like I'm obsessed with Dune. Like I used to be a big Star Wars fan, but I'm like Dune, Dune, Dune. I would say that, yeah.
That's awesome. How about the comic book world? Who were your inspirations? Was there any artists, writers that you looked up to?
Yeah, Joelle Jones for sure. Her
Love Joel.
And one of my favorite stories that I always go back to is how Image Comics was created.
Hmm.
I always looked at Todd McFarlane because he just stepped out, did his own thing, created his character, and he was about the work. Even sometimes if his artwork wasn't with it, he always hit those deadlines, and that's what kept him getting those jobs over and over. And so, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You lost me at Todd, but that's okay.
Oh, what? You're not a fan of Todd?
It's he is too egotistical for me.
Mhm,
I mean, I'm surprised his arm works as much as he pats himself on the back.
mhm. Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
Yeah, do this for me. When you
Mhm,
get up to like issue 50 or so, don't just
mhm.
start homaging your own work over and over and over like he does.
Yeah. Yeah. I always want to keep it fresh.
No, I mean, but in all honesty, I give him huge respect, not only for that, but also what he did in the field of action figures. I
Yep.
mean, he completely changed the game there.
Mhm,
Yeah, I mean, just before, especially like the baseball ones. I remember starting lineup. There was these little plastic figures. They all looked the same. Like had three different poses. And
mhm.
when he came around and made them, it's like, wow, they actually look like players now, like the real athletes. It's
Yeah,
like
I think
huge
yeah,
respect for that. I actually love Spawn the first like 20 issues or so. Loved it.
mhm,
And then I don't know why I got out of it.
yeah.
Who oh, no comment. Okay. I was looking at the comments like, oh, I just already asked you that one. Gosh, I literally ran out of questions already. That happened way too fast. Um, Where do you see yourself in, let's say, 5 years, 10 years down the road? And will it still be comic book world? With your movie stuff, did you finish with that in school and looking forward to that maybe?
Yeah. So, well, I'll say for Luminous Sage, I know my end goal because I know a lot of film companies are often investing in independent properties. You're going to see a
Hmm.
lot of books turn into movies or TV shows, especially at Netflix. And so I know for me, for Luminous Sage, that's like the end goal to have the Netflix TV show and get the distribution deal. So that would be really amazing. There's that. And as far as my film career, I really want to. I have a lot of TV show ideas as well as film ideas. It's more so just writing that script and then
Hmm.
start that script to different companies. And then I also have other book ideas as well. It's not just Luminous Sage. There's my graphic novel, Kids of America, and I've
Hmm.
written the outline and everything. I just got to do the script and produce the book. So there's that. And then also, I'm a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ. So
That
I
is
do
cool.
that as well outside of artistry.
Would you want to play the lead in Luminous Age?
Yeah, you see, a lot of people ask me that. They're like, "Is this you?" I'm like,
Mhm.
"No, it's not me." But I thought about it, and I was like, "Yeah, I could do this. I could pull this off." Because in middle school and in high school, I majored in theater. Like when I was
Mhm.
growing up, my thing was to be an actress. I've always wanted to be an actress, so I've studied in the field of theater. So I can do a little something, something
I mean, I
for
could
the big
totally see
screen.
that. But okay,
Yeah.
let's say if you don't get the role, who would
Mhm.
you want to have the role?
See, yeah, you see, the weird thing is I've actually cast some of Luminous Sage,
Oh, I love
and
this.
it's really funny. So for Luminous Sage, I could never find someone who I thought would work as her. So
Hmm.
for Luminous Sage, I have no idea. No idea.
What about any other characters or just?
Yeah. So I know for sure, Angel Diaz's son, Carlos. I would really
Mhm.
want Joro Duena to
Mhm.
play Carlos. I think he's perfect. He looks just like him. For possibly Angel Diaz, depending on how the family would look together as a whole, I would really love Oscar Isaac to play Angel Diaz. I think that would
Mhm.
be great. And yeah, those are probably the characters I've thought about the most.
All right, so you're locked in. You're locked
Yeah.
in. So you're the lead. You're the lead. If you need random stranger number 6 in the background, let me know. I can do that. I
Yeah.
can be random stranger. Like me and Puff, we can be just hanging out talking in the background. One of my good friends, well, not good friends, one of the kids I used to teach in martial arts. He
Mhm.
went to New Mexico State film school. He's trying to be a director in Hollywood now. And I always told him this: uh, if you get Kate Beckinsale in anything, I better
Mhm.
be there. So I'm telling you this now too. If Kate's there, Daryl's
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
Is there any? I mean, gosh, is there any roles that you would actually go out for? Have you already tried to do any auditions?
Um,
'Cause I know
no,
Georgia's got a good reputation for movies.
they do. Yeah, actually, while I was there at school, I saw a few things being filmed, and it was actually right around the corner at the museum. I don't know the name of the museum, but they were shooting Captain America. They were shooting Falcon and the Winter Soldier at the
Yeah.
museum. I was like, my shuttle was passing by, and I was like, that is so cool. And they would shoot right around the corner of my school and have like trailers and stuff. It was really cool. Like you'll see like a lot of stuff. You wouldn't know like what was being shot unless you
Hmm.
like did some digging, but there was always stuff being filmed.
I don't know why, but that just made me think. Did you ever watch Seinfeld?
No, no.
Oh, there's an episode where right down the street they were shooting a movie,
Mhm.
and Kramer got a role in it, and his part was these pretzels are making me thirsty.
Yeah.
So I just had this vision of you looking down, and there's Seinfeld down there,
Mhm. Wow.
which I know totally nowhere near as cold, but still.
Yeah.
Gosh, I can't believe it's a 30 minutes and I'm completely out of questions. I feel so stupid.
Oh no, that's
Oh, I got a
fine.
bell. Chad, you guys have any questions? I thought these questions would take longer. I really did. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I literally ran out of every question. I feel so terrible.
Oh no, you're fine. It's probably me. I know sometimes I can be like quiet and reserved, and so I don't give as much information. So
Oh, you know what? Question. How much do you charge for CGC covers? The blank
yeah.
covers.
Oh, so for the CGC slab itself, it's 150,
Mm-hmm.
and depending on if I have multiple, there's an
Mm-hmm.
additional charge for shipping because
Mm-hmm.
to ship, I'm just going based off of memory. It's been
Yeah,
like
yeah,
two.
yeah.
I think it's like $50 for me to just ship in the order. So if I have
Mm-hmm.
multiple orders at once, the shipping price will be lower.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was like I've been meaning for. I got to find you a Harley Quinn cover. I've been meaning to do that for literally over 3 years now. So I can put it right here beside this Harley Quinn one, right? Where's it at? There it is.
Yeah.
One of my friends did that.
Oh, cool.
Puff said, check out their reaction to Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, that was a really funny movie, and that took place in Chicago. And
Mm-hmm.
in that reaction, I was like, "Hey, I've been there, I've been there." So that was really cool to like see some of the places that I've been to in a movie. Mhm.
Let's go down the movie right. I just thought about that. What are some of your favorite movies that you have reacted to?
Yeah, so some of my favorite movies are definitely going to be some Christopher Nolan's. I've seen Interstellar, it's one of my favorites.
That was a good movie.
Inception, Terminator 2. Uh,
That was my favorite Terminator movie.
yeah, yeah, that's a really good one. Casablanca. Oh, I loved reacting to the Harry Potter series. That was good. Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I had a lot of and the Spider-Man movies. I had a lot of fun. A lot of fun
I
with
have
those.
I have not watched the last two Harry Potter movies
Mhm.
simply because I know when I watch them, it will be over.
Yeah, that's the
And I'm
only.
just, I mean, it's been like a decade. I might as well go ahead and watch them now.
Yeah.
It's like the Deathly Hollows wanted to just watch the movies already.
Mhm.
What's the movies that you haven't watched that you want to see?
Well, oh wait, just for the channel or just in general?
Let's go with the channel first.
Okay, so yeah, I have a list of movies. Like I'm preparing. I think my next film reaction is gonna be Big Trouble in Little China. I haven't seen that before. I plan on watching. I'm trying to think. I just made a list. It's Big Trouble in Little China. There's Das Boot. It's a German film. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't seen Titanic. I recently just reacted to Groundhog Day, so that video is gonna be going up on Monday because I had never seen that movie. So those,
Wow, that is such a great movie.
yeah, those are some of the movies I can think off the top of my head that are on my list.
Puff wants to know, how has the reaction community been for you?
Yeah, so the reaction community, it's been pretty interesting because that's when I first noticed a exponential growth in my channel. It started off with just trailer reactions. I would just react to all the new trailers coming out, and I
Mm-hmm.
started to see some numbers, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool, pretty cool." So when the trailers slowed down, I knew that I wanted to incorporate something else, and so at that time, the Marvel Disney Plus TV shows had just dropped, so that was the perfect thing to react to. It was Falcon and the Winter Soldier. WandaVision, and then the Loki TV show. And then
Mm-hmm.
after that, I was like, what am I gonna do? And so then I started with movie reactions, and my channel just kind of went up from there. And I used to dress up as like whatever movie I was watching, whether that was Back to the Future, Lord
Mm-hmm.
of the Rings, I would dress up like an elf, Harry Potter, I would have on my glasses, my scarf, and all that stuff. And so it's been really interesting. At first, all the comments they started off pretty positively, and as I would show more and more of my personality or just
Mm-hmm.
give my opinion, that's when you can start to see like some of the negative side of
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. I used to just have like my notifications on and I would just receive the comments. But like sometimes I would wake up first thing in the morning, it's like a negative comment, and that's not something you don't want to see. So I had
Yeah.
to turn off notifications and all that stuff and kind of choose what I'm going to respond to. And just know that there's, there's good supporters and there's people that's just there to just, haggle you. And so it's been a really interesting process to see and to maintain. And at first, when I was doing my reactions, it just started off as something that was unmonetized. And then there was a point in
Mm-hmm.
time where it became monetized. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember like, first time I like started to make money, I was like, oh my gosh, I've made a penny. This is
Yes,
awesome.
yes, yes,
It's
yes. I remember when I was that way too. Yes.
so I was appreciative over my penny. And
Uh-huh.
so it's grown from there.
Yeah, your waiting's like, man, I can't wait till that $100 mark gets here so I can actually get it.
Yeah. And so that's really cool. And then just seeing how just learning more about the business of YouTube, how
Mm-hmm.
advertisements work and how much advertisers pay based off of certain videos, like that can really make a difference. Like your video can have a lower amount of views, but you make more money because
Mm-hmm.
the advertisers are paying a higher dollar per thousandth view. Or you could have a lot of views, but the advertiser is paying a lower amount per thousandth view. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I mean, views help, but they're not always like the end all be all.
Mm-hmm.
So
After this, we're gonna have to discuss the algorithm so that way you can teach me this stuff. I mean, for me, I was just like, I put the video out and fingers crossed.
yeah.
I was going to avoid this question, but hi, Alea, one of my boys. I gotta ask. Hi, were you shocked at how dashingly handsome D was in person?
So yeah,
Followed by,
I was surprised to see everyone. Like it was like, oh my gosh, like you're real in the flesh. So I was surprised, yeah, because I was like, what?
I just thought that was hilarious. What about have you done Beverly Hills Cop? Because the new one just come out on Netflix.
Right. So no, I haven't done Beverly Hills Cop. No, I haven't seen it at all. The
Really?
original. Hmm.
Good movies. Good movies. I'm trying to think about the profanity if there's a lot in them. It's early Eddie Murphy, so it might be in the original ones.
Yeah.
What's a movie that you? Yeah, okay. Now you said you were getting negative comments. Now my question is this: is it based on your opinion of a movie, or is it based on what the public opinion is? Whether if you like it and public opinion is the movie's trash, and then they give you grief about you saying it's a good movie, and vice versa.
Yeah. So it's more of if it's something that I said that upset someone, or it's something that I did. Now it's a combination of my personality. Like, um, I find different things to be funny. And so if I'm
Mm-hmm.
like laughing way too much, because I thought there were some scenes in Lord of the Rings that were kind of funny and that made people upset.
Mm-hmm.
Or I know the first video where I saw that it was a lot of negative comments was my reaction to Jaws, because I was wearing like a whole lifeguard suit and hat, and I had a whistle that I was blowing throughout the reaction. So, my reactions are not for everyone. And I
Yeah.
know for Forrest Gump, I didn't know that what I said was just so controversial, but I made a reference to Jenny in the path that she took with her life. And I was just saying that even though she was abused, she didn't have to go down that route. Like you're not
Yep.
responsible for what happens to you, but you are responsible for what you do with the rest of your life. And a
Yeah.
lot of people did not like that response at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so, there's nothing I can do about how people react to that.
Yeah. I mean, I still love that movie, but I mean, there are aspects of it. I'm like, dude, really?
Mhm.
Like poor Forrest.
Yeah. Oh no.
But at least he did invest in a fruit company, so that was nice.
Yeah.
When they said that in the movie, I busted out laughing. I just thought that was hilarious. Is there any kind of movies that you would not review?
Yes. Any Quentin Tarantino films? Uh,
No, I got to be. I'm one of the few that will say this. I am not a fan. I've
me
watched a few, and I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't
either.
get it. That's just me.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's me too.
I bet
So
everybody in the chat over here beside me, they're going to be like, Tarantino's the greatest ever. What the world? I'm not that guy. I don't know. I don't like some of the some of the topics, some of the overwhelmed profanity that's in so many of them. I'm just like, I don't need that in my life. I
right.
just don't. I don't
Mhm.
mind a little bit, but when you start going absurd with them, like, yeah, I'm good. Yep, there it is right there.
Yeah.
There we go, Hialeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody saw one and hated it. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I'm not the only one. Um, let's see. Have you ever played disc golf?
No, no, I haven't. No.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just thought of that for no reason. Gosh, I don't guess that we have anything else. Where's your next con's going to be?
Tampa Bay and Tampa. Yeah, Tampa Bay Con coming up August 23rd through the 25th. And I'm trying to figure out what exactly I'm going to be showcasing at that con, because for
Mm-hmm.
me, each con is like its own collection.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really trying to figure out what do I want to create to display at this con, because even though I have paintings still, I always have paintings, but I always like to create new things each time. So
How is it? Because when you had so many paintings, how
mhm.
is it? Like transporting everything.
Yeah. So now that I'm selling out of state, I have to find
Mm-hmm.
ways creative, because uh, you want to keep your expenses as low as possible so that
Mm-hmm.
your return on your investment can be really nice.
Right.
And I'm just still trying to figure that part out. I think I'm gonna be shipping less because it becomes a hassle after the fact, because you have to go back to like a UPS, a FedEx after a comic convention before your flight, try and reship
Yep.
out all the paintings, and it's like, ah. But that's what I've done at Chicago, Boston, and Heroes Con. I normally take about 4 luggages with me, fill up my
Mm-hmm.
paintings with luggages, and that's another thing, because you have to be concerned with how heavy those luggages can be, and you'd be
Yep.
surprised how heavy paintings can become. And so you
Mm-hmm.
don't want your bag to be over, or else you're going to have to pay like double the bag price. And so it's always just trying to figure out a balance of how to get my paintings to wherever I'm going. But thankfully, for the rest of the year, I'll be selling at local conventions, so I can
Mm-hmm.
just drive and take all that I want in a car. So
Yeah. See, I was wondering if you like packed a van and brought it all up, or so you actually flew up with everything with you.
yeah, yes. So for Heroes Con, that was kind of a question, like
Mm-hmm.
drive or fly or drive. It was going to be
Mm-hmm.
about 9 hours, and I was like, gonna fly, gonna fly. So yeah,
Wow. How many bags did it take for all that? Because
yeah.
I mean, on your flight, didn't they charge you per bag too?
Yes. So there's two carry-on, two luggages that go underneath the plane, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's a backpack, and that's it. So four luggages in total. Two big luggages, two smaller luggages, and then my bag.
Wow. Because that's
Oh,
what.
and then at for Heroes Con, I actually shipped a big box that was about half my body size to
Mm-hmm.
Heroes Con with 13 paintings in it. So that as well. Yeah.
I mean, that would scare me because I'd be like, will they get damaged? Will they get there on time?
Yeah. See, I actually have a really good story. I didn't tell anyone about it, but it was the
Breaking news.
The Miles Morales painting that I sold at Heroes, not Heroes Con, at C2E2. I had 2 paintings shipped, which was the Miles Morales and then a Spider-Man 2099 painting shipped to Chicago, because they were 20 by 20 inches and they could not fit in my luggage. And so I had just got the Miles Morales painting signed by Shamik Moore, and I was like, do I ship this painting? Now, this painting now has value because it's been signed by Shamik Moore. So it's like,
Right.
ship this now for C2E2, or do I save it for another con? And so I was like, I'm going to ship this to Chicago. This is going to be great. And so I shipped the paintings. I think the Saturday before C2E2, and they say that my paintings are going to arrive on Tuesday. And I was like, this is great. 3 days before the con. This is perfect. No need to worry. So I like throw my receipt of the tracking numbers somewhere, and I don't ever think about it ever again because I'm like, my paintings are going to arrive on Tuesday. And so we get to Chicago. We set up at the convention center, get something to eat, and then we go to the hotel. You know, I'm all confident going to the front desk. I'm like, yes, I have a painting to pick up. And so the woman is looking behind the front desk and she's like, let me go check in the back. She go checks in the back and she's like, there's no painting here. And I was like, huh, that's weird. And so then I was like, did I do something wrong? Did I ship it to the wrong hotel? So then we go up to our hotel room and I'm looking through like my bags and stuff to find the receipt with the tracking number. Turns out I don't have it. It's back
Oh,
home in Florida. And so I'm freaking out because I don't have my tracking number. I don't have anything. So I make a phone call to my father and I'm like, Dad, please look for the receipt. I don't even know where I put it. So he calls back later on. He finds the receipt. He sends the picture of the tracking number. And so I look at the tracking number and it says, like, package lost. I'm like, what do you mean the package lost? This is the day before the comic convention. I need my paintings. And so I was like freaking out at this point. I was praying, doing every single thing that I could do. And so the night goes by and we're like, maybe it's gonna, come tomorrow. And so I call the UPS store and United States Postal Service store. And so the woman, she's like, yeah, there's nothing that we can do about it. We can't find the package. Your package is lost. I'm like, okay. So Friday goes by, no package is there. And then on Saturday, I finally get a notification saying that your package has been delivered. And so this is while we're at the convention. And I'm like, Mom, go to the hotel, go get the package. And so this is in the middle, it's like 12 in the afternoon. And so she goes to the hotel, she takes an Uber. It takes about 15 minutes to get to the hotel. So when she gets to the hotel, she's like, yeah, they don't have your package. I'm like, what do you mean they don't have my package? They said it was delivered.
oh my goodness.
She's gone for quite some time and then she comes back. And so, I, at this point, I'm just kind of over it because I'm like, I needed these paintings. These are my big paintings. I need to sell this. And so that night, as we're walking into the hotel and they have like these revolving doors, we're walking through the revolving doors and I look over to the corner and I see my package and I start screaming. We're just screaming in the revolving doors. And then the people at the front desk is like, what is going on? And so I run to the front desk. I'm like, that's my package. That's my package. And she's like, ma'am, can I see your ID? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I pull out my ID and I give my paintings, take them upstairs, and I take them out. They're in perfect condition. And I got the Miles Morales painting and the Spider-Man 2099 painting on the final day of the convention for Sunday. They were ready to go. And I put them up Sunday, and at the convention, people were walking by like, oh, that's such a cool painting. Oh, that's been signed by Shamik Moore. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I did not go through all of that to at least not have one of the paintings sell. And now I have to ship these bad boys back home. And so it was getting late in the comic convention hour. And time was passing by. And then it was 30 minutes before the comic convention was over. And I still had the Miles Morales painting sitting on the table. And then, like, out of nowhere, this guy just comes up and he's like, I like this painting. Like, he's the most mellow, chill, relaxed dude you'll ever meet. He's like, I like this Miles Morales painting. And then he sees a painting of the Spot. He's like, I like that too. I'll take them both. And I'm like, what? Like, because I don't like, do you know how much this costs? And so I let him know the price. And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll take them. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so he like buys both of the paintings. And yeah, I don't know where the guy came from. Haven't seen him, but I was just a really awesome experience, a horror and an awesome experience all at the same time.
That is awesome. First off, thank you so much for the donation. Which is your favorite Luminous Sage edition?
Mm-hmm. So I feel like whatever issue I'm working on, becomes my favorite issue at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say right now, issue number 3 is probably my favorite because of what I was able to do with the characters, because the story is now becoming more clear. I did
Mm-hmm.
different things with the artwork, and I feel like I'm honing in more on my skills as a comic book artist, and I feel so much more comfortable working in this medium.
When you're doing them,
Mhm.
how tough is it to say that's as good as I can do? That's perfect. Do you ever say it's perfect? Are you like, I think this is the best I can do?
Well, I feel like for certain pages, I'm like, that's just as good as it's gonna get. But if I know something is not working or bothering me, I will scrap the entire thing and start over. And so that's what happened with issue number 3. I
Mm-hmm.
had every there's the story that you're gonna read is not what it was originally. And so I had everything planned out, the script written like 2 years ago prior to actually making it, and everything outlined and sketched. And then when I started to actually physically draw it, I'm like, this is not the story that I want to tell. Some things need to change, things need to be
Mm-hmm.
clarified. The story needs to progress a little bit more. And so, yeah.
Do you look back at issue one and say, if I did it over, I would do this with it?
No, I've had that thought that
Mm-hmm.
even when it comes to when I compile issues 1 through 4 in a trade paperback, I was like, would there be pages that I retouch? And I say no, because I want to preserve where I was as an artist at that time. So
Mm-hmm.
whoever is reading issue 266 in 2027, they're going to look back at issue number 1 and say, wow, I really see the growth in her artwork. I
Yes.
see the growth in the story.
Yes.
So I want to preserve everything as it is. Mhm.
Rob Rettiano, he was at HeroesCon like 5 years ago. No, it wasn't HeroesCon. It was Charlotte Comic Con. I got
Mhm.
a Harley Quinn sketch cover from him. Then 2 years ago, when I was there, I got another Harley Quinn. And if you put the two side by side, you would think they're different artists.
Yeah.
And because when him and I don't know if it's his girlfriend or wife, I'm not sure which, she was like, "Wow, look at the growth in your work," and I was
Mhm.
like, "That's exactly what I'm saying."
Yeah. So yeah,
So I
that
mean, you see that with your work as well?
oh, for sure. There are paintings. I still have original paintings from like 2015 and when I first started painting.
Hmm.
The paintings look horrific, very scary. Compared to
I don't think that's accurate, but okay.
no, it's possible. They look bad. But I still plan on holding on to those paintings so like I can put
Hmm.
them up in a museum one day and it'll be like the progression of Californiablend. So
There
yeah.
you go. That's awesome. And he also had this part of the question. Do you have any thoughts or plans on um, biblical gospel comics or artwork?
Yeah, so never say never,
Yeah.
because I said I would never create a comic book, so I feel like, anything is open in that area wherever God leads me to,
Hmm.
um, so yeah, that's a possibility.
So we're saying there's a chance.
Yeah, there's
Um,
definitely a chance.
thank you again for the donation. Those awesome questions. Thank you so much. We also had this one. Will you ever make it out to San Diego Comic Con?
See, so this is a little behind the scenes snippet because for shows like New York Comic Con and San Diego Comic Con, it is tough to get into those comic conventions and they do like a whole I mean, with any con, they do an application process and a vetting process. They have an entire team look through different applications, and then you're also in competition with people who have sold that previous year
Right.
because sometimes they get to hold their spot for the following year and go ahead and pay. So you're dealing with that. So whenever I can get into San Diego Comic Con, I'll get into San Diego Comic Con for sure. That's always been on the list. Same thing for New York Comic Con. I think this is my 3rd year applying and I wasn't accepted in. So I mean, just keep going till you get in.
Yeah, like San Diego Comic Con, it took me 5 years to
Mm,
be able to get a badge to go.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went, and then I mean the same thing is like after you get a badge, you're on the first part of being able
Mhm.
to go the next year. Uh, but you still may not get a badge for the following year. So I was like, yeah. So I'm sure. I will say this: the artist alley at San Diego is
Oh,
truly amazing. It's
wow.
almost like a who's who there.
Hmm.
So I mean, if you go to walk around, talk to people, it's awesome. Yeah, were there any were there many artists and stuff at Heroes that you talked to?
Yes, I'm always so blessed to have awesome booth buddies, booth mates. So there's
Hmm.
actually someone who I met that also lives in Florida that lived next to me. His name is Adrian. Then
Hmm.
my next door booth buddy. Like you're always going to meet different artists that are doing different things, and that's really cool because you get to see those people year after year after year, and you
Hmm.
start to grow a bond. So there's always different artists that I'm either seeing again or
Hmm.
meeting for the first time.
Is there any of the artists that you want to meet? I mean, I know we kind of mentioned that earlier, but I mean, there's artwork from like comic books from years past. I'm like, whenever I go to Heroes, and Daryl Banks is there every year,
Mhm.
and I make it a point every year to go over and at least say hello to him. What an awesome guy that man is. I love just speaking to him, and it makes me sad because it's almost never a line at his booth.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
And you see his Green Lantern work. I'm like, my gosh, it's so good.
Mhm.
I mean, is there anybody like that for you? I mean, I know you mentioned McFarlane.
Yeah. Um, I had the opportunity at Heroes Quest to meet the that's at Heroes Quest. I'm thinking of two different thoughts. At HeroesCon to
Mhm.
meet the creators or the creator of Elf Quest. They were there, but I didn't. Like sometimes, or Jim Rugg. Sometimes I'll see different artists, and sometimes I'll walk by their booth, and that'll be enough for me just to know
Mhm.
that I saw them in the flesh. But I'm trying to step out more to meet different people. But there's no one in particular, at a comic convention that I'm like, hey, da, 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 I want to see that person, unless it like, just comes up naturally.
Wait, like Elf Quest, like from way back in the day?
Yes, because I was on YouTube and I had never heard of ElfQuest, and I saw a documentary about her story, how
Hmm.
she originally started attending comic conventions, and then she won the competition for her cosplay of Red Sonia
Hmm.
of the chain bikini. She did a
Yeah.
cosplay of that, and then she started doing more artwork, and then she created her own comic book series. And I just saw so much of a parallel in her story with my story that I wanted to meet her.
Wow. How? I mean, wow. I was about to ask the most disrespectful question. How old is she? I'll ask it anyway. Because I
Yeah,
mean, that come out in like early, like 70s. Or was it
yeah.
before that?
I feel like somewhere near like 70s, 80s for
Wow.
sure. I'm not sure, but I saw her story and I fell in love. I was like, wow, that's amazing. But I saw them at Heroes Con, and that was
Huh?
like enough for me.
Wow, that's awesome. I had no idea that they
Yeah.
were there. That's incredible.
Hmm.
Man, I wish I had known that because I loved the animated stuff back in the day. It was so good. Let's see. Will you be back at MegaCon next year?
You see, that's another thing. So prior to COVID, MegaCon was my spot. It was really easy.
Hmm.
I first attended in 2017. All you had to do was fill out the application and send in your money.
Hmm.
You got in the show. It was
Hmm.
that easy. It was that simple. But post COVID, it's really weird. It's hard now. I applied days after MegaCon 2024, and it was already automatically a wait list. So MegaCon is like a top tier show to get into now. So I just have to wait and see if I get in. So
So what is your favorite kind of a con? Like I mean, like Heroes is basically comics. Then you
mhm.
have MegaCon. Is that more of a celebrity con or
Yes, more of a
pop culture con? Okay.
pop culture
Hmm.
con. So I like going to those. I prefer going to cons with a bigger attendee rate because that kind of helps with traffic flow.
Hmm. Yeah. 'Cause we went to Knoxville. I think it was called this the Expo Con or whatever they called that. But
Mhm.
it had tons of celebrities. So it was a celebrity con, and like the people like selling. I mean, no one had money for them because everybody was just going to all the celebrities. I
Mhm.
was wondering, does that affect you as much when it's a lot of celebrities there?
So I find, or I feel that with like MegaCon and C2E2, even though there's some big names, I feel that they still find a happy medium where it's not like an overabundance, like with Ace Comic Con, where every single person there is literally an A-lister, and that's
Yeah,
all the fans are going for.
I
But
mean that's why I should be there.
yeah,
I'm saying.
exactly. But with C2E2 or with MegaCon, I feel that sometimes having the celebrities there, it can help because there's
Hmm.
some people that are either having a photo op or they want to get something signed. They come to the con without having anything to be signed. So they'll
Right.
stop by the booth and be like, "Do you have a picture or a painting of Captain America that I can go get signed by Chris Evans? My time slot is like in 1 hour from now. I need something. I need something." So, sometimes that helps, but I haven't found that it's been a hindering to have big name celebrities there.
Hmm. But do you? I mean, I would assume that you look at the guest list ahead of time and say, okay, I just do a whole bunch of these.
Yeah. So that's definitely helpful. There was last year at C2E2, Chris Evans was there, and Tom Hiddleston. And
Hmm.
so, it's like a cool opportunity if you want to meet one of your favorites. So yeah.
Do you do paintings of wrestlers like
Wrestler?
like
Oh,
WWE and so, I was trying to say wrestlers and I said wrestlers.
oh,
I'm sorry, that's my southern
oh,
coming out. Like WWE,
yeah.
AEW, and stuff like that because they're at a lot of shows now, especially
Mhm.
the older wrestlers.
Mhm. So yeah, if that's something that someone wants to have commissioned, like I'll paint
Hmm.
that. Normally paint portraits, so that's something that I'm more used to, painting portraits of people or different characters. So yeah, that's something that I could definitely do.
Hmm. Hey, I didn't know if that was something that you might plan ahead. What you
Mhm.
see like Sting is that going to be at a show like do a couple of Sting paintings just to, to have right there, maybe
Yeah.
smaller ones.
Mhm. Yeah.
Now, do you do different sizes too?
Yes. Yes.
Like really like small ones all the way up to gigantic ones. I know. I mean, obviously the Miles Morales and stuff, but
Yeah. Well, actually, now that I'm starting to develop my feel as an artist, there's certain canvas sizes that I just will not touch, that I just do not like. So the
mhm,
smallest size that I currently go to now is just 9 by 12. So I
mhm.
don't like painting small. I prefer painting bigger. That way, it can fit in more details.
Yeah. See, I think some people want to do smaller so they don't have to put as much detail and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, just put his head there. That's good enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? Somehow we made it to an hour.
We
Yes.
did. We did. Also, if
Lots
you're
of good
looking,
questions. Tell everyone where they can find you. The media, your links.
yeah. So you can find me on Instagram at California Blend, or you can find me on YouTube at California Blend. And then you can also find me on my website at www.californiablendsart.com. And I'm available for commissions as well.
And we have links down below. So
Mhm.
definitely go check her out. If you haven't gotten, well, you can't get this book currently. Do you have the older issues 1 and 2?
Yes, yes. Issues 1 and 2 are available.
So you can still get issues 1 and 2, and you can get them autographed too.
Mhm.
Correct?
Yes, yes, you
So there
can.
you go. So definitely look into that. She's absolutely awesome. One of the truly nicest people. I mean, and I told you this at the show when I first walked over to you. I was like, I am so proud of you.
Oh,
I mean,
thank
I've known you for 4 years or so because we knew each other a little before we had the podcast.
you.
And I said back then, I was like, wow, you're going places,
Oh,
and
thank
I'm
you.
so proud of you. And I know we're still just touching the surface, and you got a long way to go. And I'm going to enjoy watching the ride.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
Such
thank
such a
you.
pleasure to have you. Someone actually asked me this, and the answer is Do you still do reaction videos?
Yes, I still do reaction videos. I know for a point I took about a 3-month hiatus because it was just a lot coming up. It was PalmCon, C2E2, HeroesCon, and so in order to just create and focus on paintings and then also focus on finishing Luminous Sage issue number 3, I just had to take a step back from YouTube and focus on that. But now I'm back posting consistently, and I'm gonna have my next video up on Monday, Groundhog Day. So yeah.
You know, you should have saved that till February.
I know, but hey.
You know, just put on there, schedule it for next February. Was it February 2nd?
Yes.
By the way, great movie, by the way. But that's all we got. You got anything else?
Oh yes. So I know some of you were there at HeroesCon and you saw Owl's Godzilla painting. Well, when I posted that on Instagram, Owl was reaching out and then other people were reaching out as well. And so someone commissioned me to have another Godzilla painting created in the same style and fashion. And so you guys are going to get a sneak peek of this other Godzilla painting that I did, inspired by Godzilla -1.
That is awesome. Puff and Varangian, they did a video for that when Al was with them, a review of the movie. I had not seen it. I hadn't heard of it. And I watched it like, my goodness, that was a good movie.
Yes, it was.
Oh, that's not how I wanted it. That's how I wanted it. I was like, dang, my head got big. Hey, Al, there's another painting. But anything else?
No.
All right. Hey, thank you again for being here. So much appreciation. It always means a lot to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And everyone in the chat, thank you all for being here. Always means a lot to have my friends and some people I actually don't know. And thank you guys for being on as well. And that's all we got. And you guys have an incredible day.